Tyler Guyton is my 5th ranked tackle and 37th ranked player overall. He's the definition of a project offensive tackle. The athletic upside is incredible, and it's probably going to get him drafted in the first round, but his tape was not very good, and he still has a ways to go before he can be a high quality starter in the NFL. He's a converted tight end who transferred from TCU to Oklahoma in 2022. He's got 2 years of starting experience at right tackle, didn't allow a sack last year, but the rest of his statistical profile is pretty average. At the combine, he measured in at just under 6'8", 322 pounds, over 34-inch arms. He was around 50th percentile in the 40-yard dash, short shuttle, broad jump. He did have a 34.5-inch vertical, which is 96th percentile, and his 3-cone was 77th percentile. It was definitely a good combine performance. Based on the tape, I probably expected a little bit more, especially in the short shuttle, but at 6'8", 322, he definitely checked every box. And with Tyler Guyton, you're basically looking at the frame and the movement skills and projecting that with good coaching, he can eventually develop into a top-tier offensive tackle. The first word that comes to my mind when I watch Tyler Guyton's pass sets is graceful. He just glides around the pocket. He has elite mirror skills and recovery ability. He can slide up and down the arc effortlessly. I forgot who said this. I wish I could credit them because it's the perfect way of putting it, but Tyler Guyton could win probably 60% of his pass blocking reps with his hands tied behind his back. He just has the lateral flexibility and slide quickness that you can't teach. There are times he'll get himself into compromising situations, but he can just flip his hips and recover unlike probably any tackle in this class. He is kind of over-reliant on that elite recovery ability, and it gets him into trouble sometimes. He had a 72.9 pass blocking grade, 12 pressures allowed, but there were very few times that he just got straight up beat one-on-one. It felt like most of his losses were him just giving pass rushers an opportunity to get to the quarterback. His set depth was inconsistent, and he kind of forced himself into more difficult recoveries. There were a couple times he got cornered purely from just undersetting, and you see his ability to slide laterally and cut off inside counters, but his reactions to inside movements were so delayed. Sometimes he'll just let people run untouched through the B gap, maybe put up a last second recovery effort, but it's too little too late at that point. And this really applies to every aspect of his game, but overall he's just an inexperienced player with frequent breakdowns in technique. He's just really lacking the polish that you want to see for a first round offensive tackle. He's got the natural ability, but the tape is just too sloppy, and there's way too many easy, unobstructed losses. And then I also think from an evaluation standpoint, Oklahoma's offense didn't do us a whole lot of favors. It's probably one of the least translatable offensive schemes to the NFL. There's so many screen passes and RPOs and very few true NFL pass sets. So you could watch an entire Tyler Guyton game and get like 7 or 8 translatable clips. When it comes to his hand usage, I think there's some stuff to like, but a whole lot that needs to improve. He is very patient with his hands. He rarely overextends out of his punch. Against ghost moves where the pass rusher is trying to flash a hand, draw out the punch, and then dip around the corner, he was very patient with his strike timing. He's willing to let the rusher declare his move and then quickly establish contact as he starts to bend. And when he does get his hands inside, he has firm grip strength. He's able to latch on, secure contact, and end the rep early. But his hand usage overall is extremely unrefined. There are isolated reps where it looks exactly how you want it to look, but snap to snap, he's frequently wide and late with his punch. He rarely strikes with any force, way too much of a block catcher. Some of his reps against speed to power were pretty brutal. There was one against Oklahoma State where he let the rusher into his frame, got walked back a little bit, and then tossed him right into the quarterback. I think in the NFL, as he is right now, he's really going to struggle with cross-face moves and pass rushers that can beat him in every direction. I do think he has good play strength, and he's got decent flexibility when he's setting his anchor. The unrefined hand usage combined with being a taller player, I think could be a shaky combination against power rushers in the NFL. And then as a run blocker, there's really not a whole lot to write home about with Tyler Guyton. He rarely, if ever, finishes blocks in the run game. I watched every game except Arkansas State and Tulsa, so 8 games total, and there was only one time that I saw him put a defender on the ground. When he's one-on-one with a defensive tackle, his height and upright posture completely limits his ability to create any movement off the line of scrimmage. Watching Oklahoma tape and just looking at the traffic around the line of scrimmage, you will consistently see Tyler Guyton's head popping up like 1 or 2 feet above everyone else's. He just doesn't create much initial movement and doesn't sustain blocks very well. At the second level, he really struggles to look like he knows what he's doing. When he actually makes an effort to engage with the block, he has a hard time securing contact and sustaining, but there's a lot more examples of him just kind of floating 5 yards down the line of scrimmage and letting his assignment run right past him. As a puller, he'll get out in open space, cover a lot of ground quickly, but if he's got 2 defenders in front of him, it's like he doesn't know who to block, so he just won't block either of them. There are some isolated examples of him executing all this stuff, a couple nice second level climbs. When he's really centered to the block and playing with decent pad level, he can drive his legs and create some displacement. Like I said, he's got good natural play strength, and he theoretically has the athletic traits to fit into any blocking scheme, but you're starting from square one with Tyler Guyton as a run blocker. Number one, you got to teach him what to do, and number two, you got to teach him how to do it. So the thing that we've always got to remember with players like Tyler Guyton is these players are getting paid millions of dollars to get better at football, so it shouldn't be a major shock when that happens. And just because he isn't there as far as technique and skills right now, that doesn't mean that he won't ever reach that point. He has all the natural talent and athletic ability you could want, and if he puts in the work and gets good coaching, he could definitely develop into a Pro Bowl caliber tackle. But I'm probably not drafting Tyler Guyton to be a year one starter. He's more of a developmental boom bust prospect. Definitely see the upside, but I think he's got a ways to go to reach that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments any NFL draft prospects that you'd like me to cover. And if you want to see my full draft board as an interactive filterable table, I've got that up at A to Z sports.com. The link to that is in the description.